Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, technically I'm just doing a story time, eating my favorite munchies, my favorite kind of food. I'm having some dill pickles, beef and cheese, jack links, jalapeno, flaming hot lime crunch hot Cheetos, cheddar and sour cream Lay's. Also, I think it's kind of funny. I don't know if you guys have ever eaten some treat. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of sideways. This one, I used to eat it when I was traveling. Back when my kids were small. We used to eat that a lot when we would go from state to state, you know, cut in slices with bread. This is what I'm going to eat. Let me try to fix this. And have a little story time. Also, I don't know how you call this, but it's chocolate hazelnut cream-filled wafers. I love these. These are so good. But technically, I wanted to talk about something that happened to my daughter when she was younger. I used to live in these apartments back in Texas. She had this thing. I don't know if she would see stuff on this, something floating or whatnot, because you know how kids are. They see stuff, or you have them holding and they're like, somebody's playing with them and you're like, who are you laughing at, or what's making you laugh, or what's making you cry. My daughter, I remember it was one night we were sleeping and I was having a nap technically, and she was still awake. I think she woke me up and started pointing to the ceiling. I would look up and I was like, there's nothing there. And then she was like, her finger was just wander around and she would just follow it. And I was like, there's nothing out there. There's not even a fly out there. I would question it up to this day. I would ask her, you know, do you remember if you would see something? She's like, I don't even remember, Mom. But I remember sitting on the floor, because I didn't have beds back then in my apartment. And she was like, I think she's 2 years old. And her finger was just like wandering around, you know, trying to follow something. And then all of a sudden, it's like that something would scare her. And she was just like, cover her eyes and just turn around and hug me. And then I was like, what's wrong? And then she would turn around again and something would make her laugh. Something would make her cry. Something would make her feel like confused. She had that confusing face. I mean, have you, any of your kids, or maybe something happened to you like that? Comment down below, you know. I honestly want to know what's up with all that, you know. Is it something that happens like to young kids at a certain age, that they see some stuff that, I don't know, something scary? I would have to say scary because she would like sometimes cry about it. And in that apartment, I do believe I remember it was kind of scary, because I remember one day when I first got that apartment, there was this little kid. I mean, honestly, I would see it. And I believe people that used to live with me too, like my sister with her kids, my mom, my brothers. My brother used to say he would hear stuff, but me, I would see this kid outside of my daughter's room, like if he was crying, like if he was going through something, I don't know. And he wouldn't even pick up the face. He was just like on his, sitting down with his knees up and just covered, you know, covering his face. Like if he was crying, he wouldn't even make that crying noise, but like he was there. I remember seeing that kid. And then the stairs, one day I saw somebody, like, it was, you know, with the stairs coming up. It's real dark. And I remember I heard noises in the kitchen, so I just tried to look downstairs. I didn't want to go down because it was that dark. I'm scared of the dark. I'm not gonna lie. So I was just like trying to see, through the dark to see if someone was out there. And I remember saying, "Is someone there?" No one answered. But you know, you have that gut feeling that when you turn around, you feel like somebody's gonna grab you or just pull you back. I had that feeling too. Also, my brother, he would always wake up. He used to sleep in my kids' room, my boys' room. I remember one day he woke up telling me that his back was hurting. I think it was his back was hurting or was burning, something like that. I'm not sure. I'm not gonna lie. And we looked at behind his back and he had 3 scratches. You know, like when you just scratch somebody, and it was just 3 scratches. And it was weird because he would sleep alone in that room. And we were like, "How did you get that?" He's like, "I don't know, I just woke up like that. I just felt like something burning." And you can literally see those 3 scratches. They say that when you have 3 scratches, it's something, you know, like demonic. You can say that? I don't know. Might be wrong. I mean, a lot of stuff happened in that apartment. You would hear steps coming up the stairs. We hear steps on the hall. You would see that kid. I don't know if my sister ever heard something, or her kids, but I do remember seeing that kid, and I can still see it. That corner just being sad. Have you guys ever lived in a place where you hear stuff, you know, steps? Maybe some knocking on your door, or scratches on your window, or maybe your kid's crying for no reason, or you say it for no reason, but there's something going on, something that the baby sees that you don't see. A lot of that stuff happens. I think I remember my niece. My sister would tell me, we used to live in this house back in Texas. I think it was my brother-in-law's cousin's house. It was my brother-in-law, my sister, all her kids, my mom. We were all living in that house. It was a fixer-upper house. But I remember my niece. She used to have this toddler bed, and I think she would go through some stuff, scary stuff in that room. I don't recall how things went down in that room, but I think I remember my sister saying something about my niece had been pulled. You know, they would grab her from her legs and try to pull her off the bed, maybe, I think. I'm not really sure about that one, but something like that happened. And I remember sleeping in my room, the room that I was in. I couldn't sleep. I remember I would be laying back, and you know that when you have your hair falling back off the bed, you can feel somebody playing with your hair or pulling your hair. Or sometimes I would feel like somebody trying to take my blanket off. I'll be scared because I was thinking to myself, my kids are sleeping across from me on this other bed. If I'm feeling this, what are they feeling, you know? Because sometimes they will wake up crying. Or the restroom, we had to do the restroom outside because it wasn't done on the inside. They didn't have a toilet or any of that, for that matter. So we had to go outside. Sometimes I had to go to the restroom, and you would hear stuff. I remember my mom telling me that my brother had seen something wicked. He was like facing the window from the kitchen. I think it was a kitchen. He was looking outside, and there was this light hitting to this person standing right there staring at him like a demonic type of thing, looking at him. And it was just like staring at him like bad. I remember him telling us the following day that he just remembers something like demonic just staring at him outside the window. And it was just like staring right at him. And couldn't explain himself, you know. So there's, as you can see, there's a lot of stuff that's like stuff like that has never happened to us. Scary stuff, wicked, demonic. You can say demonic because of what happened to my brother that day. I felt like I didn't want to go to the restroom because that part, I think that part where it happened, that was our exit to go to the restroom outside. And it was freaking scary. Has anybody out there ever seen or felt somebody look at you and, or you're walking in the dark and you just have that thing that you feel like somebody's gonna grab you or pull you? I feel like that almost every day, especially when I walk across my closet. You know, I have a walk-in closet and I have to go through that little hall just to get to the restroom. I sometimes have to be turning on the lights in order for me to get through. I know I'm a little too old for that, but it's scary. I'm trying to remember this other thing that ever happened. Something that happened to me back when I was very small. I believe I was like in kinder. No. Yeah, kinder. I think it was kinder. Yeah. Ancient, huh? That long. Back in the day, my mom used to have this little mobile home. I think it was just a 1-bedroom, and behind that bedroom, that house, well, you know, we had a bus. We used to sleep in a bus because we didn't have a house like for all of us, all my brothers, who were 8 brothers, my mom and dad, so a total of 10. I remember us being small, us girls, me and my sister, we used to sleep inside this mobile home with my dad. We had this little bed on the side, and my mom had their own bed. And my brothers would sleep on the bus, you know. On the bus didn't have the chairs, you know, they just took all those off. I think it was already off. My aunt was the one that gave it to my dad. And we used to take a shower where the steps are where you go in the bus. We used to take showers there. Anyways, my brother's mom would always scare us with this. I don't know if you ever heard about it, but they used to call it La Lechuza. They would say that they can grab you, take you away. I think they would just tell us that so we can be scared. So we would just go straight to bed and just not get up, not wanting to be outside to play late at night. But I remember one time we were playing hide and go seek, you know. We were out in the back. It was a ranch, you know. My dad had roosters and chickens and other things, other animals in the back. And I remember us playing out in the back real late at night. And that's when I started believing Mom, when she would tell us about if you were out there, these things, the lechuzas, would grab us. Excuse me. And I remember that one night we were hiding. We saw this big bird. I mean, I do mean a big bird, but it stood like on top of the fence. You know, those old fences that you put wood, I don't know, this type of wood, like crack wood, you know, those old ones from the ranch, and these wired fences. I remember it stood right there, but it looked so human. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. It looked so human, but the feet of it was like a bird. I remember it was real dark and it scared me. I don't know if my cousins saw them because we were all cousins playing hide and go seek. And I remember looking at it and it was looking right at me. I don't remember if I ever told my mom or my brothers when we were playing, you know, that when you're playing, you just play and whatever you see, you just let it go. You just forget about it and start playing something else. Well, I still carry all the stuff that ever happened to me when I was young, and this was one of them. I don't even remember if I ever told my kids about it, but it was this big bird. It was kind of human, but the feet, you know, the legs were like bird type of legs. And you know that when you have that feeling when you're scared, you are like in coma. I mean, your body's just like in a coma. You can't even move. You can't even move your legs, your arms, your body. It's just there. Well, that's exactly what happened to me. And I remember my cousins running towards the area where I was hiding. By the time I looked back to that fence, that thing wasn't there anymore. I know it was there. I know I didn't see things. I know it was there. Because how can I say the legs were like a bird? But what was the waist coming up, it was human. And the eyes were like dark, like black, like pitch black. I think it was something like that. Ever since, I've been scared of being in the dark because, you know, when your mom tells you when you're young, she's like, no te salgas pa afuera. And you still want to go outside. Te va a llevar they call these Mexican parents, they always like call, se te va a llevar el cucuy, you know? Well, to me, that was a cucuy. It scared the bejesus out of me. I don't know if you guys ever eaten this, but I want to show you what I used to eat when I was always traveling with my kids. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see that. I used to eat this a lot. I loved it. And now I'm just gonna eat it with crackers. Love crackers. How's your night so far? I just felt like giving you guys something that I used to go see and go through when I was young. I got these stories that I want to get out. You know, see if you guys have ever gone through stuff like that. Tell me about it. I mean, I want to know if I'm the only one has been going through stuff like that, or if excuse me. Yay, look at this. You guys see that? This is real good. I remember we used to eat this when we would travel. We would get a slice of it. We would try to do this thinnest. This is how we used to cut it. This thing, you see this thing? We didn't have a knife. So me and my sister, we used to grab this, try to get it as straight as possible. And then we would just cut it, you know, try to get cut as the thin as we can so everybody can get something for their little sandwich. So we just cut it right through, use this as a knife, and then grab a slice of bread, put it in, and just give it to the kids, you know. And we would buy like either small bags of chips, Doritos, Lay's, whatever there was. And that's what we would eat on a road. We would stop like in a park or rest area, just stop and eat. That way when the kids were done eating, they can use the restroom before we would just head back on the road. There's this other thing that something happened to me and my sister when we came back from school one day, and we used to live in these apartments. Well, I remember one day me and my sister we got to the apartment. We went in there and we went to our room. And I don't remember very well about that day of what we did when we got there, but I do remember that we had this little radio in my mom's room and it went off. And we thought somebody was in my mom's room. There wasn't anybody there. My mom's was working. All of a sudden, they started throwing shoes at us across the hall, you know. And we were like, what? And yeah, the neighbor had told my mom that it doesn't surprise her that there's somebody or something going on, somebody doing something to my mom. Because she said that when we were at school, she would hear steps when my mom would go to work. And my mom was like, I don't leave anybody in my apartment. I lock it. I'm the last one out. And she's like, well, every time you leave and you lock that door, because we hear it. I mean, you can hear it because we were on the upper level and she was on the lower. And she would say that every time she would hear my mom lock the door, she would hear, like if somebody was behind my mom on the other side of the door, she would hear that somebody would walk from the entrance door, walking towards the hall, going all the way to the room, and the steps would be going back and forth the whole time until we would get out of school and we would go to the apartment. And that's when that happened. Me and my sister came out of school. We went in the apartment. The stereo, the radio went on, and they start tossing shoes at us. We ran out. I remember us running out, and we were sitting on the stairs waiting for my mom to get out of work so she can let us know, you know, what's going on, or somebody was in there, or tell us something about it, because we were freaked out. We freaked out. It was scary. There was this other time there in that apartment as well. I remember, I don't even know if it was a dream, but if it was a dream, then I'm glad it was a dream. I remember being in our room, because our room was the one across from my mom's. Me and my sister used to sleep right across from my mom. And I remember that the restroom on the hall, it would lock by itself. But you can hear somebody on the other side walking across, and you would yell at somebody, you know, open the door. I can't open it. And I don't know what was wrong with that door. But the thing is that, I mean, why would you hear steps on the other side when you're just alone? A lot of stuff, a lot of noises, a lot of steps, cabinets closing and opening. You would experience a lot of stuff in that apartment. Well, I guess I'm just gonna close this video for now. Kind of cool. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Honestly, I just ate some of the treat, some of the hot Cheetos, and some of the Jack Links. But I just wanted to share some stories with you guys of the experiences I've had with paranormal stuff, scary stuff that happened to me when I was young, my kids, and just talk. Technically, it was more of the talking than eating. So you guys are so amazing, being there for me, supporting me on my videos, my channel. If you guys are new to my channel, please subscribe to it. Hit the bell notification to get notified for new videos that are up and coming. And see you on my next video. I honestly do love you guys so much. And thank you for watching. Goodbye.